You join us here today at Swarkston on the River Trent, fishing a qualifier for the ABC River Masters Final. We've drew a peg today, quite shallow, a little bit fast. We don't really know much about it, not many big fish, maybe some small barbel, possibly a chub if we're lucky. So we're going to target it today, mag it further across, start to mat, hopefully get lucky. And then we're going to drop onto a pole line where we're going to ball in ground bait, loose feed hemp over the top, hopefully catch on that. And then we've got waggler just past, stick float just past the pole line if needed, hopefully not. But looking to be a nice day, hopefully the wind drops a little bit difficult at the minute setting up. But if that drops down, I think we'll have a good day, hopefully qualify for the final. So I'll take you up now to the top of the bank and show you through my ground bait mix. So I'll just quickly show you through the ground baits I'm going to be using today. This part of the Trent here, quite shallow, quite fast, and we're targeting dace, maybe up to 4 ounce, little chunky roach, maybe some little chublets early on. We start off with frenzied hemp, matte black, sticky mix, full of hemp. Put the whole bag of that in. Followed by a bag frenzied hemp match with the original colour. Then we move on to the binder, the Silver X River. I'm going to put half a bag of this in just to really bind that mix up for this fast peg. Just half bag's enough. That's to one side. And then I'm going to put in about half a bag crushed hemp. This is going to keep popping up during the day, hopefully keep attracting fish into the peg. Undo that there. Seal that up, ready for the next day. Just quickly whiz that up. Always have a full bucket of clean water when I'm mixing up. Keep all your hands clean as we go as well. There you go, look, you can already see the river doing its trick in a ground bait. If I was fishing a more powerful, deeper peg, I'd probably add the whole bag. But as it is now, give that 20 minutes, half an hour, and that'll be a perfect mix. We've just got about 5 minutes left now before we all in. Just got our balling up done. Start by boiling it on my lung pole, and we'll see how we get on. Just going to start off today with about 5 balls, bit of hemping, a few casters. We're going to make the balls quite hard. Introduce them into your peg and they'll stop there for quite a while. We don't want the fish going, well, if there is many fish here, we need to find that out. We don't want them going crazy and then just having a fast first half an hour and then nothing. So we'll keep the balls tight, keep fish coming in, hopefully have a good spell for a few hours, and then we develop onto the hemp. I always carry a good couple of tins of a frenzy dynamite hemp with me. One could be enough, but hopefully we'll need 2. Good hookers in there and a good variety of some cracked open and some just about split. Perfect hemp for my fishing. Just boiled in now, we'll just put half a pot of hemp in, just slightly upstream. You want everything to land almost in the same area, but still half decent size area so we can attract an amount of fish and keep them there comfortable. Just start priming that waggler line as well. Little dice and then just come off, I think. This wind's definitely making things difficult. Bite them straight away, right over the groundbait. Imagine it'll be a dice. Now a little roach. Difficult to lay your rig in today with this wind. Little perch. So we just had a few smaller fish, a couple of little roach. First chuck on hemp now, a little chunky roach. Quite a good sign really, so early on in the match. But it is time of year now where you really will catch well on hemp. Problem we're having is the wind really is causing us some problems with presentation. There's a few fish there. Just lift that one out of the water. As the rig's just settling now with my hemp fishing, I'm just preparing and picking out the next hooker. As you can see, I've just pinched it in between my lips then. Just put a tiny pin, top of the hemp, back in my lips, ready for the next cast. We're just trying to make the most of any time we have during the match. But the real problem is the presentation. It's dreadful downstream wind. Another little chunky roach there. In my net. Next piece of hemp on, and away we go again. The same again. As the rig goes in, settling, don't need to watch the float at the minute. Rig settling. And we've got our next bit of hemp ready and our lips ready for the next fish. go, nice sized fish there. Same again, piece of hemp. Just put him on there. You can see I'm not wasting, I'm trying to not waste any time. My rig is always in the water. Feed, get behind the float, we're fishing again. Nice size roach. Hemp from in between your lips again, and we're fishing again. Just on my hour mark now, just catching a few fish on end, but the wind is causing that many problems. Almost impossible to fish. But the problem is the roach are spewing up the crushed hemp from in the ground bait. And you know, when you get the odd better stand fish, it just makes all the hard work worthwhile. Fishing maggots and casters, you're just getting pestered with little tiny dice and little tiny chubblies, loads of fish in the peg. But I just feel the way it's going, I definitely want to feed on hemp. It's just finding the best way to catch them in these conditions. I do believe if the wind wasn't as bad, it would be a roach to chuck, 100%. Another decent stamp fish there. Just going to bulk this little light rig down a little bit. I'm just basically just trying to get the perfect presentation in these conditions. Slide them shots down. Really just trying to find out the best way to fish this type of peg in these conditions. Obviously a lot of fish there. So we're on that almost 2.5 hour mark now, and really I've gone through the motions today. Stick float, pass the pole line, catching some fish on hemp. And some fish on the waggler, but it's just so much hard work in this wind. Even, you know, sinking the line down, controlling the float, it's just very difficult hitting every bite, which is what you need to be doing really. I'm just back on the pole now, and I've changed again, gone away from hemp, because you just can't present the rig good enough, although you can catch odd fish on it. Now gone back to casters and maggots, and we're getting runs of fish, but been like it all match really, little runs of fish, you make a change. And the idea is just to find a way how do you just start stacking up these little chunky roach. No better fish as yet. A couple of net roach on hemp earlier on. Just need that wind to calm down a tiny bit, and I do believe we'll get a fish a chuck then. As long as it doesn't go too calm and too flat on the surface. Had some fish on hemp earlier on, and I think you could still catch on it, but it's so difficult in the wind. Caught on casters shallow, catapulting right on the float and fishing up in the water. We're catching now on a decent size hook, 16 hook, single maggot, on the deck, but a really light float, only a 0.2 float. And just letting it flutter around in the flow. It's just been one of them days today where you just got to be chop and changing, the feeding's changed. We've fed hemp heavy, hemp light, casters light. Maggots now and again just to draw the fish back into the peg. But not too much because you don't have shallow and missing bites. But you can tell there's a lot of fish in this part of the Trent at the minute. Just obviously in match conditions, you just want to get the best out the peg on the day. I'll just quickly talk you through the rigs we're using today. We're using like a chanty style float. Little bleak there shipping out. Yeah, chanty style float with a cane top. 0.2 and 0.4. To 5 and 6 elastics really. Been good. A few pike attacks. Not so good. But on the right day, I think you could have a massive weight. The amount of fish in the river at the minute. Bait's still alright. Fishing it now, just dropping that rig in. Casters just upstream, stop the hemp now. It's too difficult to fish at times. The waggler line's been good today, but only in real short bursts. Little run of fish and back off it again. But each run of fish is like 8 to 10 ounce. Little chublet there. You can see the sun's gone behind the clouds slightly and the wind's dropped a tiny bit. Just made fishing that much easier. But I wouldn't be surprised in the next half an hour, especially with pike in the peg now. We'll have to change the feeding once again, just to suit the way the fish want to feed in the peg. Single bronze maggot on my hook now. And a big hook really, size 16 hook, but we're still having it. Being able to ship them fish back a bit quicker without the pike getting it. We've had a few near misses. I'm not sure how the match is fishing. I have heard of a few people who's fishing quite well. But there is some barbel pegs further down. Whether they're fed or not today, they might have with this wind on. A lot of cover from the clouds and whatnot. Fish on the drop there. Come off. Spoke to my mate Shunter further upriver. He's on an excellent peg today. I think it was the one everyone wanted to draw. And he did say he's catching a few fish. Fish shallow there again. He said when he got there was fish jumping all over the river from bank to bank. So he might have a good weight. Might end up coming shallow again the way it's looking at. One shallow fish then and one just bumped off as the rig was settling. Might be time to change once again. Just trying, it's difficult at times, but fishing a bigger hook. Too big really, should be fishing an 18, but just picking out the bigger maggot out the tub as I can. Just to hold that big hook, which is helping me get the fish back before the pike gets it. Everything's gone a bit funny again now, so we've switched back to hemp, longer rig, more line, and just letting it run more naturally down the river. Weird how the fish come onto the hemp and then they're off it again. You're having to fish maggots and casters. And then within half an hour again you can't get a bite and you've got to change rigs and change baits. There is some good stamp fish to be had on it now, right down the back end of the swim. Just some wary big roach. Good stamp fish in my last hour of the match. Could make all the difference. Almost pulling my elastic out there. I'm dropping my rig now a bit further down the peg where I know the fish are. No point wasting any time running down to them. Definitely not in shallow water. I might as well literally lower my rig right where I know the fish are feeding. The back end of the swim. If I was to drop my rig up here like I was earlier, all that wasted time getting down to a feeding fish at the bottom of the swim. Holding that rig now, there you go, decent quality roach, little stamper, and I've been spewing up the crushed hemp. Yeah, the pole line's almost completely gone now, so we just trying the waggler again. We've been feeding it all day. Dropped on it a couple of times and had some little runs of fish, but not loads. Just giving that pole a rest again. Hopefully we can have a good ending on it. You do get a feeling, mate, the last sort of 20 minutes of river's completely switched off. Strangely, a couple of fish have been topping, but the river has come up a good 2 or 3 inches. Maybe some cold water's come into the river. It definitely has switched off now. Strange, really. Sometimes be normally the best part of the match for roach fishing now. Feeding that waggler downstream, still topping up the pole line as well, ready for another run of fish on that later on. Fish on there, right down the end of the swim now. That was a nice sized fish. We've had a great day videoing. We've showed some of our methods, hemp fishing and fishing over our groundbait, going through all our mixes and the way we had our hemp into the peg and into the mix. Loose feeding casters, loose feeding maggots lung, catching on wagglers, stick floats over the top. You know, it's not been an easy day, but there's been a lot of fish to be caught at different times in the match. So, I hope you've enjoyed the video today, and we've got some more coming up. Next time, we're looking at skimmer fishing at Blackford's Reservoir at Carfife. See you then.